Hey everyone, Ibrahim here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I took a client's paid ads account and took them from being a brand new e-commerce business to then making 50K per month. And with this client, we were able to start off with a very moderate budget just to ease into everything, and then slowly, the more we saw results, the more we were able to scale their ad budget, and they were able to see a huge growth in their revenue that they sold on the e-commerce store. So let's get straight into it, and I'm gonna walk you through exactly what I did to take them from a new business to 50K per month. So for this particular business, we were using Meta Ads, which I feel is probably the best option if you're an e-commerce store selling physical products. Now, what happened was they were new to starting their business and they were trying to figure out exactly the best way to scale. So this is exactly how I took them through and set up their account and manage it till this day, and how they were able to scale to over 50K per month. So first of all, you need to make sure that you set up everything correctly on Meta Ads. So that includes things like your pixel. You need to make sure that you're tracking everything with your Meta Ads, otherwise you're not going to know what's working and what's not. You want to make sure you structure your ad account in the right way, which I will show you exactly how to do that and how I did it with this client. And then you need to have a very specific creative workflow. This is very important because these days, more than ever, Meta is heavily emphasizing on giving them more variety of creatives in order for them to test out what's going to work the best for your business and show it to the right audience. So you need to make sure you don't just have only one or two types of creatives. You need to be ready to have a lot of different options and give that to Meta to be able to test properly and find the right working one to give you the best results. Now, what we want to do first is, this is the importance of the funnel in regards to what I just discussed. With your pixel data collection, that's going to obviously help target the top of funnel businesses. So this is going to attract all of the right attention in terms of getting eyeballs to your business, to your product and what you're selling. So that's why we need the pixel. We need to see that behavior. After that, we want to specifically look at the data that it's giving us. And that's what it's going to happen once they visit your website, once they start to browse, whether you're using Shopify or any other e-commerce website store. This is going to show you exactly what they did and their behaviors on your actual website pages. And another thing we're going to do is the data that you then show is going to help with your ad targeting. It's going to be able to give you more specific information about who your audience is and who you should be targeting in your paid ads structure and account. Now, that's then going to help with your overall ad delivery. The ad delivery is going to make sure you're able to cater to the specific audience that we saw in the ad targeting that the pixel was giving us. So you see how every step is just as important to be able to optimize your ads in the best way possible. Now, some of the results that I just want to show you that I was able to get with this brand is, if you have a look at, these are all different types of ads, which of course I'm not going to be able to show you, but I can show you some of the results. You can see here the purchase numbers. I mean, if you have a look here, 196, 92, 22, 66, all of the ads also had a very low cost per purchase in comparison to their average order value, which was around $100. So you can see here they were very profitable in regards to how much it was costing them to get a purchase in comparison to what they were actually making per order. And I mean, these numbers here is probably one of the things that are the most important when running paid ads, which is your ROAS, here. And you can see all of them were hovering around that 5, 7, 7.5 and 4.97. So you can see how the results were very profitable, very high and cost effective. This business was not spending too much to get a customer, and this is why it's important to set up everything in the right way to be able to keep you as profitable as possible. So now I want to take you through the ad account structure. This is very important because people these days think you still have to have 4 different types of ad sets and creatives in each of these ad sets targeting different audiences. But Meta has changed a lot. With this new AI algorithm, it has completely changed the requirements that is needed on the back end and how tedious it is. Now they've kept it as simple as possible for anyone who's managing the ad accounts. And this is what I suggest is going to be your best type of setup. So if you have a look here, you only need one type of campaign. One campaign, and then everything else will go in that, which I'll show you in a second. You don't need multiple different types of campaigns, especially if you're just starting out. You only need to focus on one. Don't overcomplicate it. Only brands that are spending 30 to 40K plus per month is when you'll need probably a few different types of campaigns. Or if you're running a specific sale campaign, sometimes it could be worth having it in a separate one. But in general, most of the time you only need that one campaign. Now inside that campaign, you only need one ad set, which you can see right here. You don't need more than that. This is where a lot of people used to do, heaps of different varieties of ad sets, all targeting different demographics and different audiences and things like that. But now, these days, Meta doesn't even need you to do that. You can put all of your creatives in one ad set, and its AI algorithm will be able to target the specific audiences that you need to reach. But that's why, which is going to lead me to the next point, it is very important to have, as you can see here, it's very important to have as many different types of creatives as possible within that one ad set. You can see here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different creatives, and I'll show you why in a second. But this is why it's important. The more creatives you give Meta, the more it's able to test out all the different types of angles. And it's very important, by the way, to not give it two similar types of creatives. You want to make it different. One could be showing your product, one could be a comparison video, one can be showing the benefits of a customer having that product. Make sure you target all the creatives with different angles. If you only slightly tweak a word or something in the headline of an image, Meta will not like that and they won't reward you and test it properly. They want to see different types of angles. So this is why it's important to give it as many creatives as possible, but you want to make sure it is showing different things of your products, benefits, comparisons, the pain that they can avoid if they buy your product, the problems that you're going to solve. All of these things need to be spoken about in all the different creatives, whether it's a video or an image. So you can see here very clearly we have one campaign, one ad set, and then 6 creatives within that ad set. That's all you need to know. Don't overcomplicate it, especially if you're early on or you don't have a budget that's over 30 or 40K a month. Anything under that, you can get away with this. And this specific client is not far off spending that 30K and they're still structuring it this way and they're seeing tremendous results. So this is what I suggest with ad creatives. I suggest you start off, no matter what your budget, whether it's $10 a day or whether it's $100 or $500 a day, you should at least have 3 different videos and then 3 images as well. Why this is important is you want to always have 3 of each running at the same time to give Meta enough information to go out and run wild and test all of these different options for you. Then what you're going to be able to see is you have to clearly monitor. So if I go back to this specific image here, you're going to clearly monitor all of these metrics here. How many purchases have happened, the cost per result, cost per click as well is very important to measure. And of course, your ROAS, the return on ad spend. You're going to need to start monitoring all of these things once you feed these 3 creatives into Meta. So what's going to happen there is over about the next week or 2, you'll see which videos are performing best and which images are performing best. Now, why this is important is because when you're able to analyze this properly, what you will do is you will start to remove the ones that are not performing as good as the other. So let's just say, for argument's sake, this one is your best performing, and this one right here, and it's outperforming everyone, all the other ones. You're gonna make sure that you get rid of the other ones, and then bring in new ones to compete with that. You're gonna always essentially substitute the lower performing ones, eliminate them, bring in new videos, and constantly test and rotate between them. And it's essentially like a winner stays on method. That's the best way that I can put it and the simplest way for you to be able to understand how I'm trying to tell you what to do in terms of the best ad approach. Now, The same thing with images. You want to analyze all of them, all your three. You could have more as well, by the way, but 3 is a good starting point. Then let's just say this one is the winner. You're going to want to eliminate 1 and 2, keep that one on, and then bring in new ones to compete with that one. And then if another one ends up outperforming your existing current winner, then it's the same cycle. That is the best way to be able to properly test all of your different creatives and see exactly what Meta is giving you in terms of results and getting your best essentially return on investment. You don't want to overcomplicate it. Like I said, three videos, 3 images, and then you're able to analyze properly. I would suggest as well, so another very important aspect of all of this, so as I mentioned here, you want to have that winner stays on method and then start eliminating at 2 and 3. And then always substitute them. Now, in regards to optimization, this is something that a lot of people do not do enough of. Sometimes a lot of clients that I've worked with, when they were trying to run the ads themselves, they would just kind of set and forget. They'll put a couple of ads up, and they'll put a little bit of a budget and they'll just let it run, but then they're complaining about why they don't see results. This is because they are not optimizing. Now, what I suggest to make sure you're optimizing as efficiently as possible is you want to have something in your calendar and you want to have a reminder essentially. Now, this reminder is going to help you stay on top of you checking the ads and the creative performances. So it's very important to check this regularly. I usually do it a few times a week per client. You want to give it a few days, see the performance, give it another few days, and then make a judgment. Usually once a week, you should be able to have an idea of which creative is going to outperform what. That's why you need to check it consistently every single week, a few times a week to see the direction they're heading in, especially when you start introducing new types of ad copy and creatives and things like that. So make sure you constantly check your ads. Do not set and forget. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to increase its performance and the amount that you're spending and the profit that you're getting in your return on investment. Put this all in a simple table. The table should display key metrics like your spend, the revenue you're making, and your return on ad spend. All of those metrics that you can see in your Meta Ads platform, which is the ones that I showed you before, make sure you're tracking them somewhere. Yes, you can look at them in your Meta Ads campaign accounts, but I suggest having another table, whether it's on Google Sheets or whatever else that you use, and track them all. Track them all yourself. See your weekly results, your monthly results, and have a sheet for all the different analytics that you're looking at. So that way, because whatever is tracked can get improved. If you're not tracking the right metrics, how are you going to know what specific areas you need to focus on? An example, if you're getting a lot of traffic to your website, it means your ad is doing well. But if you're not getting a lot of people to purchase, it means something's off with your website. The landing page is not structured the right way. All of these things, though, if you're not tracking, you're not going to know. So that's why it's very important to have a table, a spreadsheet somewhere where you're able to just track all of this, and that way you know exactly what you need to adjust, what you need to improve on, and how you can just get yourself better performance overall, and at the end of the day, a higher return on ad spend. You want to make more money. That's very clear. This is why we do these types of paid ads. But if you're not going to track anything, you're not going to know where you can make these improvements. In summary, there is 3 key points you need to focus on whenever you're running paid ads. Make sure you always have strong creatives and focus on that. That's the most important part of anyone's paid ads approach these days. The second thing is you need to always set up tracking right from the start. Otherwise, you're not going to get the right information on what's working and what's not. The third thing is the data will beat the emotion that you have towards these specific ads. If you're really attached to one ad, but it's not performing well and something else is outperforming it, don't be hesitant to just stop it and scrap that specific one. You need to just look at the data and not be too emotionally attached to a specific video you worked on or an image. You just need to look at the metrics and make a judgment based on that. So that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. And if you are running some paid ads for your business, whether it's e-commerce or any other type of business, let me know in the comments below what struggles you might have, any questions that you have as well. I'll be happy to answer them. And be sure to like and subscribe to the channel to check out more types of tutorials and walkthroughs like this one to hopefully help you grow your business and understand more things with everything got to do with marketing. Take care.